the poor woman suddenly discovered that the chaebol chairman was actually her biological father. She immediately went to the chairman's house and finally mustered up the courage to ring the doorbell of what should have been her own home. Walking into the house and seeing the luxurious surroundings, scenes she never dared imagine, when her biological parents appear before her, a suffocating feeling makes Jinlan lose all strength and collapse to the floor. She tries to compose herself, and reveals the truth that she's their daughter. But this sudden news makes the lady think Jinlan is mentally unstable and talking nonsense. The chairman regrets meeting Jinlan and tells her to leave. Jinlan has no choice but to pull out the paternity test results to prove it, explaining she secretly took the chairman's toothbrush at the mansion. But even seeing the report, the chairman and his wife can't believe what Jinlan is saying. They think she's gone crazy with poverty and forged the report to get money. The lady threatens to call the police and lock Jinlan up, telling her to get out. Watching her biological parents insult her so bluntly, Jinlan doesn't say a word. She leaves in tears of anguish. Outside, Jinlan can't hold back anymore and breaks down crying. She's not the one who did anything wrong. Why should she bear all this pain? But Jinlan firmly believes that even if she seems filthy and disgusting, her biological parents will come looking for their daughter who's like a beggar. The chairman and his wife refuse to believe what Jinlan just told them, deciding to act like today never happened. But the lady is still scared and insists on getting a paternity test to put her mind at ease. She takes Youngwon's hair to the testing center, paying 10 times the price to get results the same day. In anxious waiting, she finally gets the report that evening. Just as Jinlan said, Youngwon, whom they raised for 29 years, has no blood relation to them. Their real biological daughter is Jinlan. This cruel truth makes the lady collapse at home in tears, holding the fake heiress and sobbing uncontrollably. Youngwon has never seen the lady this heartbroken. She can only hold her and comfort her, even declaring she'll teach a lesson to whoever hurt her mother. Then she starts crying too. Seeing this scene, the chairman instantly understands everything. The lady regrets how harshly she spoke to Jinlan this morning. The couple decides to temporarily hide the truth from Youngwon, worried about how she'll face life after learning the truth. This girl they've raised for 29 years. Not knowing what happened, Youngwon invites the lady out early the next morning to cheer up by watching a movie, trying to chase away her mother's sadness. But the lady isn't in the mood at all. All she wants is to see her biological daughter. The lady goes alone to where Jinlan works and witnesses Jinlan being harassed by a difficult customer. Watching her daughter so humbly endure accusations and insults, the lady painfully turns her head away. She waits until Jinlan's lunch break, and the two finally sit down together. Even with 1,000 things to say, they don't know where to start. Then the lady sees Jinlan's scarred hands and grabs them. Tears immediately fill her eyes. She can imagine just how hard her biological daughter's life has been. She promises Jinlan will never be hurt again. As they embrace tightly before parting, Youngwon happens to arrive at the bookstore. Seeing the lady affectionately and lovingly hug Jinlan, she can't help feeling a pang of jealousy. Faced with Youngwon's sudden appearance and questions, the lady has to lie, saying Jinlan is her friend's daughter. The lady doesn't linger, simply says goodbye with a heavy heart, and leaves. Although Youngwon has lived with the chairman and his wife for 29 years, once the lady knows Youngwon isn't her biological daughter, she starts resisting their closeness. Pure and kind Youngwon doesn't know why, scared and confused by the lady's sudden change. She complains, hurt, that her mother lovingly hugs other people's daughters outside but won't even make eye contact with her at home. The lady doesn't have the courage yet to tell the truth. All she can think about is how to bring Jinlan home. The lady goes straight to Jinlan's poor adoptive mother and reveals the truth about their daughters being switched. The adoptive mother thinks the lady is mentally ill and talking nonsense, immediately throwing her out. In her daze, the adoptive mother accidentally knocks over a teacup. But at that moment, she suddenly remembers Jinlan was previously found at the hospital to have a blood type unrelated to hers. Combined with what the lady just revealed, even though her hand is bleeding profusely from the broken glass, the adoptive mother feels no pain. She already believes the truth about her daughter being accidentally switched, but what she can't accept most is that Jinlan didn't confess to her first. Instead, to escape her poor fate, she ran straight to acknowledge her biological parents. The lady tells the chairman about meeting Jinlan's adoptive mother today and revealing the truth. Thinking about Jinlan growing up in such a shabby family makes the lady's heart ache unbearably. She discusses with the chairman how to make it up to Jinlan as soon as possible. The chairman has been agonizing over how to tell Youngwon the truth. No matter what, Youngwon is still their child. Late at night, Jinlan sees her adoptive mother drinking alone in distress. She decides to tell her the truth, but the adoptive mother can't yet accept such a cruel reality and deliberately interrupts Jinlan with singing. Looking at the adoptive mother who lovingly raised her, Jinlan is grateful for the care, but she wants even more to have a glamorous life and achieve her dreams. Jinlan proactively calls the lady to invite her to dinner and calls her mom for the first time. The lady is deeply moved. Soon after, the lady buys Jinlan expensive clothes and picks her up for dinner. The 5 million won handbag she never dared imagine is now in her hands. Looking at the clothes worth tens of millions, Jinlan's face shows a satisfied smile. Changed into her new clothes, Jinlan walks arm in arm with the lady to dinner. The adoptive mother sees everything from afar. Watching the wealthy lady effortlessly dress Jinlan head to toe in designer brands while she couldn't even afford to send Jinlan to college, the adoptive mother returns home feeling both bitter and pained. Just then, Youngwon and uncle arrive looking for Daebyum, who rents here. Hearing the noise, the adoptive mother comes out and sees Youngwon. She doesn't know Youngwon is her biological daughter, only that she's the one who went on a blind date with Jinlan's ex-boyfriend. To vent Jinlan's frustration, she grabs salt and throws it all over Youngwon. Youngwon feels wrong but can only suppress her urge to fight back, snapping right back at her. Meanwhile, Jinlan also complains to the lady, saying Youngwon went on a blind date with her soon-to-be married boyfriend, which forced them to break up. She felt like her whole world was collapsing. These words make the lady feel guilty and, more than anything, heartbroken. However, the next day, the adoptive mother learns from her younger daughter that the Youngwon she chased away yesterday was born on the same day, month, and year as Jinlan, meaning she's her biological daughter. Thinking about how she hurt and insulted her daughter last night, the adoptive mother's heart breaks. The chairman also finally makes up his mind and tells Youngwon the truth about being accidentally switched at the hospital with Jinlan. He tells Youngwon that no matter what happens, she'll always be his daughter to be proud of. At this moment, Youngwon feels like she's fallen into a freezing abyss. She finally understands the lady's recent intimate behavior toward Jinlan and her distance from herself. She leaves with difficulty, wanting to calm down. Jinlan wants to know what the adoptive mother is thinking, but the adoptive mother can't bear to give away the daughter she raised with such hardship to someone else, and she doesn't want Jinlan's appearance to ruin her biological daughter Youngwon's wealthy life. These words make Jinlan extremely angry. What about my future? Why should I suffer a poor life for someone else, just because Youngwon is your biological daughter? Jinlan's questions pierce the adoptive mother's heart like sharp arrows. She slaps Jinlan hard. Jinlan runs out resentfully. One day, before returning to the wealthy family, Jinlan is dragged to an underground parking garage by two debt collectors because of her adoptive father's gambling debts. Thinking of her true identity as a wealthy heiress, Jinlan warns them to try laying a finger on her. They'll face the consequences. The debt collectors aren't intimidated by Jinlan's threats and start attacking her. Just then, Jinlan sees the chairman walking by. She deliberately spits to provoke the debt collectors again, wanting the chairman to see her being bullied so he'll take her home sooner. Sure enough, seeing his biological daughter being beaten, the chairman immediately disregards his own safety, forcefully pushing aside the two debt collectors and protecting Jinlan behind him, claiming he's her father and telling them to come at him instead. In this moment, Jinlan truly feels what fatherly love is for the first time. The debt collectors don't know who the chairman is and are about to teach him a lesson when Youngwon rushes over, saying she's already captured evidence and called the police, warning them to leave or face jail time. Although Youngwon cleverly protected the chairman, her heart is in pain. The father who should protect her no longer belongs to her. Watching Youngwon leave in pain, the chairman doesn't know what to do. Later, Jinlan finds Youngwon, angrily telling her, "I'm the victim who was robbed. Why are you pretending to be the victim? If the chairman were poor, would you be so eager to go back?" Youngwon thinks Jinlan is only so eager to return because of the wealthy status. The facts are right there. Jinlan doesn't deny it. Jinlan says she won't hold Youngwon responsible for the past years, just wants Youngwon to return the identity that should be hers. Youngwon gathers her courage and chooses to return to the chairman's home. She expects some comfort, but when she opens her closet, she discovers all her clothes are gone. She learns from uncle that the lady hid all her clothes. Her already aching heart hurts even more. Youngwon musters courage again to actively meet her biological mother, the adoptive mother. But when they meet, Youngwon doesn't feel any familial warmth from the adoptive mother. It feels completely like strangers. The adoptive mother keeps apologizing and blaming herself in front of Youngwon because the wealth she possesses is so little, she can't bring any miracles to her child. Jinlan lived a miserable life under these circumstances and lost her future. The chairman tells the lady about Jinlan being bullied today. The lady is anxious to bring Jinlan back quickly to live with Youngwon. The chairman says Youngwon's biological parents won't agree. The lady is frantic, declaring that whoever blocks Jinlan's path won't get away with it. Youngwon happens to hear these words. Such harsh language scares her back. Is she also on the lady's list? The next day, the lady meets with the adoptive mother to discuss the two daughters' placement. The lady insists on bringing both children home to raise. The angry adoptive mother throws water in the selfish lady's face. She thinks living together would just make the lady feel better, but for the two children, it would be unprecedented torture. She refuses to agree to the lady's plan no matter what. With no choice, the lady calls both daughters over and gives them the final say. Seeing this situation, the adoptive mother doesn't want the children to suffer the pain of choosing. She stands up to pull Jinlan back, but Jinlan breaks free. She doesn't want to continue her miserable life. Youngwon similarly doesn't want to leave the parents who raised her, but she doesn't want to live with Jinlan either. She firmly tells the lady she has no intention of forgiving or compromising. After speaking, she and Jinlan look at each other. Neither has any intention of backing down. The most heartbroken adoptive mother silently stands up, trembling as she supports herself against the wall and chooses to leave. Worried about the adoptive mother leaving in a daze, Youngwon scolds Jinlan for not following her in case something happens. Jinlan remains unmoved, sitting firmly and expressing to the lady her determination to return. With no other option, Youngwon chases after her herself. The suffering adoptive mother walks dazed on the road. A motorcycle suddenly comes toward her. Fortunately, Youngwon, who chased out in time, pulls the adoptive mother back. Youngwon hopes the adoptive mother can give her some time to accept this reality. Mother and daughter don't say much, just tightly embrace each other, crying their hearts out. Later, Jinlan returns home to find the adoptive mother again, hoping she'll let her start a new life. But for the adoptive mother, how can she just give up so many years of mother-daughter feelings? She doesn't answer Jinlan's questions, just keeps talking talking about memories of their time together. Though poor, they were beautiful. Seeing the adoptive mother won't give a direct answer, Jinlan finally hardens her heart and decides to abandon the adoptive mother first. The adoptive mother doesn't want it to end so unpleasantly. She can only endure the pain in her heart and let Jinlan do what she wants to do. No one is abandoning anyone. Back home, the adoptive mother cries her heart out in front of her eldest daughter. Learning that Jinlan abandoned the mother who raised her for 29 years for money, the eldest daughter angrily finds Jinlan and slaps her hard. But no matter how much the older sister scolds her, it doesn't shake Jinlan's decision to return to the wealthy family. She can only thank them for their years of care. Back home, Youngwon forces the lady to make a choice. She won't stand in the way of any compensation for Jinlan except having her come live in this house. But the lady wants to bring Jinlan home to live, believing Jinlan suffered nearly 30 years of miserable life. Now that they've finally reunited, poor Jinlan needs care now more than ever. Youngwon, still angry, doesn't compromise, saying then she'll leave this house herself. However, after deep thought the next day, Youngwon doesn't want to see the lady sad and makes a concession, agreeing to live with Jinlan. Jinlan soon receives this exciting news. She promises the lady she'll treat her like a real sister. Facing the family that loved her for 29 years, she can only tearfully say she's sorry. But just as Jinlan is packing to leave, her adoptive mother suddenly falls ill and collapses. When the adoptive mother recovers, she finds her vision is completely dark. She's gone blind. The younger sister is furious, blaming everything on Jinlan, saying it's her fault that mother suffered so much it caused this. She angrily tells Jinlan to just leave if she's going. Jinlan doesn't leave immediately. Instead, she anxiously takes the adoptive mother to the hospital. After a series of tests, the doctor tells the adoptive mother she has late-stage glaucoma and will be completely blind in as little as 6 months. Worried about dragging down her daughter's life again, the adoptive mother begs the doctor to hide her condition. Back home, the adoptive mother hardens her heart and tells Jinlan to forget everything about this family and go live well with her wealthy parents. This suddenly makes Jinlan feel abandoned by the adoptive mother. Finally, Jinlan picks up her luggage and leaves the place she lived for 29 years amid everyone's curses. Where Jinlan can't see, the adoptive mother cries as if her heart is being pierced by 10,000 arrows. Jinlan finally moves into the luxurious mansion she never dared imagine, but only the chairman and his wife are happy about Jinlan's arrival. Youngwon is very unhappy inside. Fortunately, during this painful time for Youngwon, an editor named Song Sung-joon brings her some happiness. After spending time together, Youngwon starts falling for this excellent, hardworking man. For the first time in her life, Jinlan can sleep in a big bed. She's extremely excited, secretly vowing to take back everything that should belong to her. At dinner, Jinlan acts like the host, calling Youngwon down to eat. This makes Youngwon very unhappy. Jinlan says she's the real daughter of this family. But when she sees the lady appear behind Youngwon, she immediately changes her attitude, acting weak and submissively begging Youngwon not to make her leave this house. Jinlan's sudden change confuses Youngwon. Pure Youngwon just blurts out that she regrets letting Jinlan return to this house and really dislikes her. Youngwon's words make the lady furious. She goes forward and slaps Youngwon hard. The lady feels at a loss about her impulsive behavior. This also makes Youngwon go back to her room crying. Just like that, under the lady's compensation, Jinlan is dressed head to toe in designer brands. She spreads all the luxury items on her bed. This is the life Jinlan dreamed of. What makes her even more surprised is that with a wave of her hand, the lady gives Jinlan 30 million won in allowance. This instantly shocks Jinlan. She's never seen so much money. The adoptive mother's glaucoma gets worse. Due to another blindness episode, she accidentally falls. Youngwon and Daebyum immediately run over when they hear the noise. Jinlan happens to see this at the door. Scared and at a loss, she wants to rush in to check but stops. Thinking of her current wealthy life, she doesn't want any connection with her poor adoptive mother. Jinlan doesn't hesitate anymore. She turns and trembles as she flees, only comforting her guilty conscience in a corner where no one can see. Telling herself the adoptive mother must be fine, maybe just tired. The adoptive mother tries to put everyone at ease, smiling and saying there's no problem. Youngwon has been standing at the door without saying anything. The adoptive mother tells Youngwon to go back and live well. Actually, Youngwon's heart is very angry because just this morning, Youngwon's gambling-addicted father Hwang Nambong came to the company to find the chairman. Hwang wants to sue the hospital that made the mistake to demand compensation. But the chairman doesn't want the two daughters caught up in public opinion. Seeing he won't get either daughter, Hwang proposes 1 billion per daughter. At this moment, Youngwon happens to arrive at the office and hears what Hwang said. Youngwon came over to tell Hwang that she'd rather live like a clown than become his begging tool, saying she doesn't want to be a daughter in this family. Just as she's about to leave, the younger sister is extremely angry at Youngwon's words and throws her high heel at Youngwon, scolding her that no matter how much she looks down on her biological parents, the blood flowing in her body can never change. However, Jinlan can't stop worrying about the adoptive mother and eventually comes to the hospital to ask. This time the doctor doesn't hide it from Jinlan and tells her the adoptive mother will soon go blind. Jinlan leaves the hospital in a daze, recalling the harsh words the adoptive mother said about forgetting her and never meeting again. Jinlan finally understands that the adoptive mother never thought of abandoning her. She was afraid her blindness would drag Jinlan down, so she said those harsh words to chase her away. Youngwon is also helping the adoptive mother by prescription medication. To her shock, she learns from the staff that these drugs treat late-stage glaucoma. This devastating news breaks Youngwon's heart. Youngwon urges Jinlan to avoid future regrets by going back to care for the adoptive mother. But Jinlan thinks Youngwon is using this opportunity to kick her out of the chairman's house. She says Youngwon is the adoptive mother's biological daughter. If anyone should show filial piety, it should be Youngwon. Youngwon finally makes her choice, deciding to move out and live independently. But she doesn't mention it's because of the adoptive mother's blindness, just saying they should live separately for a while so the lady doesn't need to feel guilty and can wholeheartedly make it up to Jinlan. Even so, the lady's heart still doesn't want Youngwon to leave. However, Jinlan, who eavesdropped on everything, is unusually happy, thinking that once Youngwon leaves, she'll have all the chairman's love to herself. Youngwon hopes to make up for the 29 lost years of mother-daughter affection before the adoptive mother goes blind. Mother and daughter happily drive out together. Youngwon eventually brings the adoptive mother to tour the company. Unexpectedly, Jinlan and the lady are also at the company. Seeing the poor adoptive mother wearing the same designer clothes as herself, the lady immediately understands Youngwon must have bought them. This makes the lady unhappy. She deliberately says in her capacity as the chairman's wife that this isn't a place just anyone can tour. If people knew Youngwon's true identity, she'd definitely face discrimination. Hearing what the lady just said, Youngwon angrily responds that no matter what, she's still the chairman's daughter and will inherit this publishing company. It turns out the chairman had already decided to give the most valuable publishing company to Youngwon. The lady, thinking only of her biological daughter, believes Youngwon has no right to inherit all this. Hearing this, Jinlan internally suppresses her excitement, thinking that as the real heiress, the publishing company will be inherited by her. But things don't go as expected. The chairman doesn't change his previous decision just because Youngwon isn't his biological daughter. He believes his hard-built company should go to the capable Youngwon. But the lady insists Jinlan should inherit and argues with the chairman. The lady has real feelings for Youngwon but doesn't want Youngwon to take away Jinlan's life. Yet she wants Youngwon to stay by her side. The lady wants to persuade Youngwon to give up inheriting the publishing company and only inherit part of the assets. But Youngwon is speechless at the lady's greed. Having her own publishing company is Youngwon's childhood dream. Youngwon says even if she gives up the entire house and maternal love to Jinlan, she absolutely cannot give up her dream. Youngwon doesn't want to see the chairman caught in the middle between two daughters, suffering, so she decides to move out and live with her biological parents. The chairman has never changed his mind because Youngwon isn't his biological daughter, but Youngwon's mind is made up. However, to keep Youngwon, the chairman makes an official announcement at the dinner table in front of everyone. Youngwon will inherit the publishing company, Jinlan and the eldest son will inherit other assets. Finally, he directly warns Youngwon that if she runs away from home, he won't recognize her as his daughter anymore. This decision makes the eldest son furious. He declares that if father insists on this, he'll take back what originally belongs to him in his own way. He tells the lady not to just watch their family's assets get snatched by someone with no blood relation. However, the older brother can at least complain about his dissatisfaction, but Jinlan can only despairingly and angrily bear it alone. She never expected she has no place at all in the chairman's heart. Jinlan instantly feels crushed. However, the lady, as the biological mother, has always been thinking of her biological children. The lady directly finds the adoptive mother and asks her to sort out the household registration and transfer each child's registration to the other's household. Once Youngwon's household registration is transferred out of the family, she won't be qualified to inherit the chairman's estate. The adoptive mother angrily scolds the lady for actually abandoning the daughter she raised for 29 years over asset division. She immediately says she can't do it and tells the lady to handle her estate inheritance issues herself. But the adoptive mother's approach makes the lady think she wants to get more wealth from Youngwon. The two eventually part on bad terms. Jinlan doesn't want to go back to her previous poor life. This day, she accidentally learns that Editor Song's family is actually a hidden wealthy family. On the surface, Editor Song's mother runs an inconspicuous soup restaurant, but the family's assets are no less than the chairman's. So Jinlan decides to become Song Seung-jun's wife and become a daughter-in-law of a wealthy family. What Jinlan doesn't know is that just recently, Song Seung-jun and Youngwon confirmed their romantic relationship. Although they haven't publicly announced it yet, they deeply attract each other and truly love each other. To please her future mother-in-law, Jinlan deliberately starts frequenting the soup restaurant to get close to Song's mother, wanting to leave a good impression. Even though she absolutely hates eating blood sausage, she forces herself to swallow her urge to vomit and eats big mouthfuls. Song's mother immediately sees Jinlan's intentions toward her son and directly tells Jinlan that if she can satisfy her, she plans to hand Song Seung-jun over to Jinlan. This makes Jinlan's heart incredibly excited. Just then, a wave of nausea hits. Jinlan immediately runs outside and vomits up all the blood sausage she just ate. She then comes back, puts on a work apron, and uses all her skills to satisfy Song's mother. In the following days, Jinlan tirelessly helps out whenever she has time. This makes Song's mother mother add Jinlan to her candidate list for future daughter-in-law. She even has her son drive Jinlan home. Song Sung-joon, whose heart is already full of Youngwon, has no interest in Jinlan whatsoever. After dropping her off, he simply says goodbye and is about to leave. But Youngwon, returning home, happens to see this. Youngwon instantly feels angry, worried his mother's meddling will cause misunderstandings. Song Sung-joon directly tells his mother that he and Youngwon are officially dating and warns her not to think about going after Youngwon. Meanwhile, the eldest son can't swallow this insult. Drunk, he questions the chairman about why he doesn't value his only son, declaring that if father insists on dividing the assets this way, he'll definitely make the family miserable. The chairman, in a fit of rage, slaps his son to the ground, unmoved by his complaints, still not changing his decision. Seeing this scene, Youngwon is scared to tears. At this moment, she feels that staying in this house only makes everyone suffer. So after deep thought, Youngwon finally gathers courage to tell the chairman she's transferring her household registration to the adoptive mother's household, returning to the life that should belong to her, saying she'll never forget the chairman and his wife for her whole life. The chairman doesn't want to see Youngwon go back and ruin her life. He says all kinds of things trying to keep Youngwon, but her mind is made up. On the way back, the chairman gets angrier and angrier. In a moment of impulse, he leaves Youngwon halfway and drives back alone. At this moment, it suddenly starts raining hard. Fortunately, Song Sung-joon arrives at Youngwon's side in time, so her heart no longer feels afraid. The chairman returns home angry and tells everyone about abandoning Youngwon. Unexpectedly, Jinlan isn't happy about this. Instead, she feels things aren't so simple and questions what Youngwon is really planning. At this point, Youngwon no longer values the inheritance and wealthy parents, saying Jinlan can take whatever she wants. Borrowing your life ends today. But Jinlan still thinks Youngwon isn't sincere and warns her to keep her distance from Song Sung-joon because Jinlan has her eye on him. However, Youngwon doesn't back down at all regarding Song Sung-joon's position, firmly stating she absolutely won't let Jinlan take him away. The two women are at odds again over fighting for a boyfriend. Later, Youngwon packs her luggage and officially leaves the place she lived for 29 years. She even leaves all her company shares and her car behind. Although the lady is reluctant inside, for the sake of her biological children, she has to bear the pain of sending Youngwon away. Jinlan's hatred toward Youngwon grows heavier. This day at the company, she finds an opportunity to frame Youngwon. Jinlan steals one important page of film from the book Youngwon is responsible for printing. But when leaving the company, being too nervous, she accidentally drops the film on the ground. Although the camera records this moment, a poster blocks the crucial part. Unaware a page of film is missing, Youngwon has her subordinate start printing. Jinlan drives far away and throws the stolen film outside, then drives away. Soon, it's discovered that an important page is missing from the books Youngwon is responsible for publishing, causing all the printed books to be scrapped. This is an extremely low-level error for a publishing company, resulting in huge losses. No matter how much Song Sung-joon loves Youngwon, he really can't tolerate this work mistake and loudly scolds Youngwon for incompetence. Jinlan sees this and is secretly delighted. When the chairman learns of this, he directly punishes Song Sung-joon with a pay cut and removes Youngwon from her team leader position. Youngwon finds the chairman to apologize for her mistake. To prevent others from being punished because of her, she actively requests to bear all responsibility alone. The chairman has been holding a grudge about Youngwon leaving. Seeing Youngwon wants to take responsibility, the chairman appears to scold Youngwon for speaking out of turn without knowing better, but actually loves Youngwon and doesn't want her to have too much pressure. He's actually teaching her how to handle things. After calming down, Song Sung-joon thinks Youngwon wouldn't make such a low-level mistake, so he starts investigating this incident. He anxiously wants to find that roll of film. Shaking surveillance footage, he quickly discovers problems. Seeing Jinlan nervously leaving the company, although he didn't capture Jinlan picking up the film, he's certain Jinlan framed her, causing Youngwon's mistake. Just then, Song Sung-joon suddenly receives a call from Song's mother telling him to come home quickly. Song's mother, to test whether Jinlan is qualified to become her daughter-in-law, reveals her identity as a loan shark boss to Jinlan. Then she has Jinlan help her deal with a troublesome poor mother and son. The woman's husband committed suicide because he couldn't repay the loan shark, so mother and son came here demanding an explanation. Jinlan never dreamed Song's mother would be such a terrifying woman. Although Jinlan feels like she's fallen into a trap, to become a daughter-in-law of a wealthy family and inherit an even larger fortune, Jinlan instantly transforms into a fierce woman. She directly smashes a vase to intimidate them, telling the mother and son that if they don't want to die with their husband, they should leave here quickly and find hope to live. This scene is witnessed by Song Sung-joon returning home. At this moment, he finally understands that his father's death was from taking a knife meant for Song's mother. The scene of father's tragic death is still vivid for Sung-joon. Jinlan's domineering operation successfully wins Song's mother's approval. She directly announces to Song Sung-joon that Jinlan is her future daughter-in-law. Jinlan is overjoyed inside, while Song Sung-joon turns and leaves, not wanting to deal with Song's mother's crazy behavior. The next day at a meeting, Song Sung-joon says he's already learned through surveillance who the mastermind framing Youngwon is and tells the culprit to stand up and admit their mistake. Sure enough, Jinlan becomes extremely nervous after hearing this. After work, she anxiously runs to find and destroy the evidence. She's caught red-handed by Song Sung-joon, who's been waiting. Under Song Sung-joon's interrogation, Jinlan has to admit she did it, but Jinlan doesn't think she did anything wrong. She says she just wanted to beat Youngwon Youngwon for once. Why can Youngwon get everyone's love while she not only lost precious life because of her, but everyone started hating her because of Youngwon too? Watching Jinlon cry bitterly, Song Sung-joon can't relate to Jinlon's inner pain. The next day, Jinlon submits a resignation letter to Song Sung-joon, but Youngwon already resigned before Jinlon. However, Song Sung-joon is angry at this behavior, scolding Jinlon for causing such huge trouble. Not thinking about how to leave but facing her mistakes and immediately correcting them. That's what a responsible person does. Jinlon's framing ultimately doesn't succeed. At this time, the lady learns from the adoptive mother that Youngwon left to care for the adoptive mother's blindness. She never expected Youngwon to be so kind. The adoptive mother begs the lady to bring Youngwon back home. She doesn't want Youngwon to live a hellish poor life. The lady's heart is also conflicted. She both feels sorry for Youngwon wandering outside and wants her biological children to inherit the estate, so she tentatively asks the chairman if he agrees to bring Youngwon back. However, Youngwon's resolute departure thoroughly broke the chairman's heart. The chairman tells the lady not to worry about Youngwon anymore. She returned to her biological parents' side. That was her own choice. Later, the lady finds Jinlon to ask if she knows about the adoptive mother's blindness. Jinlon fearfully says she knows. The lady's heart still feels somewhat disappointed. The two daughters handle things with such vastly different attitudes. Jinlon worries Youngwon will come back to this house again. She bluntly tells the lady she doesn't want Youngwon to come back and take her place, because just this morning, the chairman finally apologized for his coldness toward Jinlon and made plans to go out together this weekend to increase father-daughter bonding. This hard-won change, Jinlon doesn't want to lose it again because of Youngwon's return. However, the chairman, while saying he won't forgive Youngwon, secretly goes to check on Youngwon's current life. Watching Youngwon, who used to be like a princess, now skillfully serving customers, the chairman's heart aches, feeling sorry for his daughter suffering here. Just then, the adoptive mother discovers the chairman. She tells him that Youngwon came back to care for her blindness and hopes the chairman will take Youngwon back so she doesn't have to suffer here anymore. The chairman regrets how he scolded Youngwon during this time. Youngwon is still that well-behaved, sensible good daughter. After returning, the chairman is very angry, blaming the lady for hiding the truth about Youngwon leaving. Meanwhile, the eldest son, because of father's unfair treatment of the inheritance, uses company shares to borrow 1 billion in funding from Song's mother, planning to invest it himself. Unexpectedly, the eldest son with no business talent loses all the money and owes 700 million more. Learning of her son's foolish behavior, the mother feels both anxious and annoyed. If the chairman finds out, he'll definitely remove their son from the household registration. So the lady goes alone to negotiate with Song's mother. The lady takes out her assets, wanting to buy back the publishing company shares. But Song's mother wants to use this opportunity to get more shares and take over the publishing company. Song's mother makes excuses about confirming procedures to stall for time, telling the lady to go back first. Just as the lady is about to leave, Jinlon happens to arrive. This surprises the lady. After some explanation, the lady finally understands that the Song Sung-joon both daughters like is Song's mother's son. Back home, the lady advises Jinlon not to fall into the trap and give up her feelings for Song Sung-joon. But thinking of Song's mother's enormous wealth, Jinlon directly tells her mother she deeply loves Song Sung-joon and absolutely won't give up. After speaking, Jinlon doesn't forget to frame Youngwon, saying Song's mother has hundreds of billions in assets and that Youngwon is with Song Sung-joon because she's targeting that enormous wealth. This makes the lady start to waver. Is Youngwon really that kind of person? Song's mother absolutely won't allow a pure and kind girl like Youngwon to become her daughter-in-law. But after several attempts at persuasion, Youngwon firmly states she'll marry no one but Song Sung-joon in this life. This makes Song's mother quite angry. She decides to teach Youngwon a good lesson. So Song's mother uses Hwang Nambong's gambling addiction, having her subordinates lure him into illegal gambling, then having police arrest him. When Youngwon learns Hwang was arrested, she has no choice but to turn to Jinlon for help. Although Jinlon hates Hwang's gambling behavior, he did raise her for 29 years. She can only humbly find her ex-boyfriend who just became a prosecutor, hoping Brace's guy will help bail Hwang out. Unexpectedly, Brace's guy says he's powerless and tells Jinlon this is all Song's mother's trap. The best way to get Hwang out is to find Song's mother. With no other option, Jinlon goes to find Song's mother, begging her to let her adoptive father go once. Jinlon only then learns that Song's mother prepared this trap for Youngwon, but she came forward instead of Youngwon. Song's mother tells Jinlon to hand over her publishing company shares to make a deal with her. Jinlon can not only rescue Hwang but also become Song's mother's daughter-in-law. Jinlon doesn't reply on the spot. Seeing Jinlon didn't rescue Hwang, Youngwon also goes to Song's mother to plead. Song's mother's request is simple: have Youngwon break up with her son, or she'll keep Hwang in prison. Youngwon never expected Song's mother to be so vicious. Although she has no feelings for her poor father, she can't personally send Hwang to prison. But Youngwon even more doesn't want to break up with her deeply loved boyfriend. Youngwon tearfully asks Hwang what she should do. Seeing his daughter crying before him, Hwang feels deeply moved. Later, Youngwon decides to break up with Song Sung-joon. But just then, Song Sung-joon appears, snatching the phone from Youngwon's hand and angrily telling Song's mother on the other end that Youngwon will not only rescue Hwang but won't give up the man she deeply loves. Song Sung-joon tells his mother to come at him with whatever she has. This makes Song's mother quite angry, unable to believe those words came from her son. Song Sung-joon feels deeply sorry for Youngwon's suffering, telling her not to worry and to leave everything to him. Youngwon finally shows a happy smile, feeling she chose the right boyfriend. Song Sung-joon doesn't disappoint Youngwon. He finds the prosecutor handling Hwang's case and takes out a recording of Song's mother bribing the prosecutor, threatening him to make the right judgment. The next day, Hwang is released from the police station. Through this incident, the father-daughter relationship begins to build. Song Sung-joon seizes this good opportunity to kneel and propose to Youngwon at the company, promising to stay by her side no matter what happens. Watching the sweet scene of the two, Jinlan's heart fills with resentment. She worked so hard to become Song Sung-joon's wife, even preparing to betray the chairman, but in the end, it's all ruined by Youngwon. She angrily slaps Youngwon hard. Youngwon doesn't take it lying down and immediately slaps back. This makes Jinlan swear she'll ruin Youngwon's life. Youngwon mockingly tells Jinlan, "Before you ruin my life, worry about your own even more broken life first." Youngwon's words completely enrage Jinlan. She finds Song's mother again, deciding to give everything to deal with Youngwon. This is exactly what Song's mother wants, so she has Jinlan go back and switch the contract the older brother previously signed. This way, the older brother can no longer get back the mortgaged shares. After Jinlan succeeds and is about to leave, she's caught by the sister-in-law and uncle. Jinlan cleverly pretends to be drunk to get past them. Back in her room, Jinlan looks at the original contract in her hand, then stares ahead with vicious eyes, swearing to give Youngwon the cruelest punishment. Song Sung-joon still can't get over Jinlan framing his girlfriend and is angry Jinlan didn't actively admit her mistake to Youngwon. Their conversation happens to be overheard by the chairman in the distance. He never expected his biological daughter to be so vicious. Just as he's about to go confront Jinlan, he faints on the ground from blood rushing to his head. Fortunately, Song Sung-joon discovers him in time and gets the chairman to the hospital. When the chairman wakes up, he's completely disappointed in Jinlan, but she's still his biological daughter, so he wants to give her a chance. He decides to test just how bad Jinlan has become, deliberately asking about the adoptive mother's health. Jinlan, not knowing the chairman's intention, casually says the adoptive mother is very healthy. This instantly makes the chairman completely disappointed in Jinlan again. The chairman makes an important decision, to have Jinlan return to her previous life, hoping she can correct her wrong character. He tells Jinlan that this weekend, he'll invite her adoptive parents to the house as guests. Jinlan has an uneasy feeling inside. The weekend quickly arrives. This is the first time both sets of parents sit together. Everyone thinks it's just a simple dinner. Before long, the chairman says he organized this dinner because of Jinlan, asking the adoptive mother to take Jinlan back to their poor home. Hearing this, Jinlan grits her teeth in anger. Hwang thinks the chairman is kicking her out because he's worried Jinlan will inherit the wealth, but the chairman says he'll donate all his assets to society. He doesn't want Jinlan to become vain and ruin her life because of wealth's temptation. But how could Jinlan possibly return to her original life trajectory? She says even without her by the adoptive mother's side, there's still the older sister, younger sister, and Youngwon who can take good care of the blind adoptive mother. At this moment, Jinlan is very angry, complaining to the chairman that he has no feelings or attachment to her. She's clearly the real daughter. Why can't she compare to Youngwon, who has no blood relation? The chairman scolds Jinlan, "Have you treated me like a father? I'm just a tool for Jinlan to satisfy her desires." He never expected Jinlan to hide the fact that the adoptive mother is going blind for the sake of wealth. However, at this moment, the chairman teaching Jinlan as a father feels so ridiculous to her. Jinlan doesn't think she did anything wrong. What's wrong is that the chairman didn't find her sooner and didn't love her the way he loved Youngwon. Father and daughter both feel they're not wrong. Jinlan declares she absolutely won't go back to the adoptive mother's place. Since she's being kicked out anyway, she might as well leave on her own. Jinlan sadly goes back to her room to pack. The lady feels reluctant about Jinlan leaving but can no longer stop her determination to leave. The lady argues with the chairman over Jinlan, wanting to threaten the chairman with divorce. Unexpectedly, the chairman directly agrees to the divorce. He thinks the lady has become a selfish person and hopes divorce will make her face herself. Jinlan brings her luggage to Song's mother's house and hands over the older brother's guarantee contract to Song's mother. Song's mother is very satisfied, directly having Jinlan move into her son's room and telling Jinlan to mentally prepare to be a daughter-in-law. Later, Jinlan plans to resign from the publishing company to work for Song's mother. Unexpectedly, Song's mother turns around and sells the publishing company's shares to make a huge profit margin. This shocks Jinlan. At this moment, she understands Song's mother's conspiracy. This puts Jinlan in a dilemma. She wants to stand with Song's mother to deal with Youngwon but doesn't want the publishing company the chairman worked so hard to build to fall into someone else's hands. The chairman finally learns about the elder eldest son mortgaging shares to Song's mother. The older brother pleads with father for forgiveness, but this only makes father angrier. He insists the lady sign the divorce agreement. They must divorce to make the lady and eldest son turn back from their wrong path. Yoonwon also feels the crisis. Regarding Jinlan's depraved choice, she has no solution and can only have the adoptive mother bring Jinlan back. But no matter how earnestly the adoptive mother tries to persuade her, Jinlan insists on staying by Song's mother's side because only by staying with Song's mother can she feel the sensation of being valued. The adoptive mother is helpless about Jinlan's stubborn decision. She can only sit on the ground crying. She doesn't understand why the daughter she raised from childhood has come to this point today. To stop Song's mother from getting the publishing company, Yoonwon checks the contract for the shares the older brother mortgaged. She discovers the older brother's contract has been switched. It clearly said 1 year before, but now it's only 1 month. Hearing Yoonwon's complaints, Uncle recalls the scene when he discovered Jinlan inexplicably drinking alone in the older brother's room, believing Jinlan must have switched the contract. Yoonwon angrily takes the contract to question Jinlan. Jinlan refuses to admit it. Yoonwon deliberately says they already extracted fingerprints from the contract, and if she doesn't admit it, they'll turn the matter over to the police. Jinlan, thinking the matter is exposed, doesn't hide it and directly admits it, but she doesn't think she did anything wrong at all and arrogantly tears up the contract, thinking no one can do anything about her. But what Jinlan didn't expect is that Yoonwon secretly turned on her phone camera and recorded Jinlan admitting the crime. Yoonwon advises Jinlan that if she doesn't want to be taken to the police station, she should bring back the older brother's original contract and not use it to hurt their parents. Yoonwon still shows goodwill toward Jinlan, hoping she can reform. The lady has been eavesdropping at the door. Only now does she know her biological daughter did so many vicious things. She feels very guilty. It's all her indulgence that led Jinlan to this point today. Jinlan worries Yoonwon will use the video to report her and is scared at a loss. Finally, she can only follow Yoonwon's suggestion. She sneaks into the room to steal back the older brother's contract when Song's mother isn't home. Unexpectedly, at this moment, one of Song's mother's enemies secretly sneaks into the house, wanting to find Song's mother for revenge. When Song Sungjun returns, he finds Jinlan already lying in a pool of blood. Jinlan inadvertently blocked a fatal blow meant for Song's mother. Who knew Song's mother would actually bribe the doctor to remove Jinlan's uterus, also saying Jinlan is her lifesaver and lost her qualification to be a mother. So her son, out of duty and gratitude, must marry Jinlan. Song's mother also pushes the main responsibility onto Yoonwon, saying it's because she had Jinlan go to her room to steal things that led to her being stabbed and losing her qualification to be a mother. Hearing these words, kind and pure Yoonwon's heart aches unbearably. She never expected her one threat would lead Jinlan to face such cruel harm. Yoonwon looks at Jinlan in critical condition, hoping she can get back on her feet, not wanting her mistake to make 4 parents heartbroken. Fortunately, after being in a coma for 3 days and nights, relying on a strong will to survive, Jinlan wakes up. The severe pain from her abdomen makes her cry out unbearably. Seeing this scene, Yoonwon's anxious heart finally settles down completely. Jinlan doesn't want to deal with Yoonwon at this moment. Song Sungjun falls into painful dilemma. He really doesn't know whether to repay his mother's debt by choosing Jinlan and abandoning Yoonwon. After this incident, Jinlan also recognizes her mistakes but stubbornly refuses to apologize to the chairman and his wife, not wanting them to see her like this. The lady is both angry and heartbroken, scolding Jinlan about what she's lacking in her current life and why she had to get to this point. Looking at Jinlan's dejected appearance, the lady says heartbreaking words about not forgiving her. Actually, she hopes Jinlan can find hope for life in these scoldings, letting her know her parents haven't abandoned her but still love her. Jinlan finally feels regret at this moment. The lady turns back to find Song Sungjun. Thinking about her daughter's ordeal caused by Song Sungjun's vicious mother, she goes up and slaps Song Sungjun hard, angrily driving him away. The wronged Song Sungjun has unspeakable suffering. Although he's an upright person, he can't escape his vicious mother. Song Sungjun has been holding the contract Jinlan stole back and knows about Song's mother's harm to the chairman's family. He thinks he really has no qualification to continue dating Yoonwon and can only bear the pain to heartlessly choose to break up. Yoonwon has been blaming herself for making it impossible for Jinlan to have children. Even though Yoonwon is extremely reluctant, she can only accept the reality of breaking up. But before leaving, Song Sungjun puts the contract Jinlan stole in Yoonwon's favorite record sleeve, hoping she'll go back and open it to listen. But Yoonwon doesn't know there's a contract in the record sleeve that can save father's company. She just puts it aside and sits on the floor in a daze. Later, Song Sungjun completely resigns from the publishing company and tells Song's mother he's willing to inherit her position as loan shark boss, on the condition that Song's mother can't attack the chairman's family anymore. But Song Sungjun's sudden change doesn't put the suspicious Song's mother at ease. She has her subordinates monitor Song Sungjun's every move, thinking only when her son completely inherits her position will she let the chairman's family go. The lady's scolding makes Jinlan feel a bit better, but facing the adoptive mother's constant crying, she finally can't be stubborn anymore. At this moment, Jinlan finally knows who truly loves her. The adoptive mother stays by Jinlan's side caring for her. To cheer Jinlan up, she even sings a song expressing love. At this moment, Yoonwon happens to see this scene, lets go of all past grievances against Jinlan, and joins in singing. Watching the adoptive mother and Yoonwon's exaggerated performance, Jinlan's hardened heart gradually softens. This day, day, the sister-in-law, pregnant, comes to visit Jinlan. Jinlan can't help but envy her, thinking she'll never be able to become a mother in this life. Her heart feels like it's being cut by knives. But Jinlan doesn't plan to give up like this. She finds the doctor to ask if there's any way to make her body recover to normal, even if there's just a little hope, so she can continue living. The doctor struggles for a long time and finally tells the truth. He takes out the hush money Song's mother bribed him with and gives it to Jinlan, then tells Jinlan her uterus wasn't removed. The doctor's morality finally overcame his desire. He didn't help Song's mother continue deceiving Jinlan. This news surprises and delights Jinlan. She's happy her body is still normal, but shocked that she never expected Song's mother to be cruel enough to frame her like this. She gets angrier and angrier. Regardless of her still recovering body, she stumbles towards Song's mother's house. This scene happens to be seen by the lady. Worried Jinlan might do something drastic, she anxiously follows. Jinlan angrily arrives at Song's mother's house, wishing she could kill her on the spot. Jinlan endures the pain from her wound and scolds Song's mother for why she spent so much money to remove her uterus. Was it to make Song Sungjun break up with Youngwon? But Song's mother doesn't think she did anything wrong at this point. She thinks it's the best way to make Song Sungjun marry Jinlan. Pulling Jinlan's hand, she says she'll treat her well in the future and will leave all her assets to her. But Jinlan no longer trusts Song's mother. The lady, who followed Jinlan, hears the entire conversation. She heartbrokenly tells Jinlan to come back with her, swearing to sue Song's mother and make her accept punishment for her crimes. Jinlan tells the lady to go back first. She still wants to make a final settlement. Song's mother brings Jinlan to the room where she was stabbed, saying Jinlan was injured here and is her lifesaver, promising that once Jinlan recovers, she'll let her inherit the lone shark boss position. But hearing Song's mother's words and recalling the scene of being stabbed, terrifying emotions instantly flood her entire body. She directly faints to the ground. When Jinlan wakes up again, she finds she hasn't left Song's mother's room. Unexpectedly, she overhears a conversation between Song's mother and her subordinate. She learns that Song Sungjun stole the publishing company's shares from Song's mother last night. Song's mother is very angry that she fell into her son's trap. It turns out, Song Sungjun pretended to inherit his mother's position but actually wanted to help Youngwon save the publishing company. Song's mother refuses to just be outsmarted by her son like this and orders her subordinates to get the contract back from Song Sungjun by any means necessary. Jinlan immediately tells Song Sungjun this news, telling him to prepare. Finally, Song Sungjun makes his choice and hands the contract to the chairman, actively apologizing on behalf of Song's mother. This deeply moves the chairman's heart. To protect Jinlan and Youngwon, he betrayed his biological mother. Song Sungjun really is an upright man. Learning of her son's actions, Song's mother is so angry her head hurts. Jinlan, receiving Song Sungjun's thank you message, has no regrets and completely moves out of the room that never belonged to her. Youngwon also finally discovers the older brother's contract in the record sleeve Song Sungjun gave her. She knows Song Sungjun has been silently protecting her. Youngwon can no longer bear missing Song Sungjun. Since Jinlan's uterus wasn't removed, they can get back together now. Unexpectedly, Song Sungjun doesn't want to reconcile. As a son who betrayed his mother, he doesn't want to make Song's mother more sad or let Youngwon and Jinlan get hurt again. So he painfully says the cruelest words, directly refusing Youngwon's request to reconcile. Through Song's mother's incident, the sisters who were once enemies put aside their grudges. Youngwon buys nice clothes for Jinlan, who's about to be discharged from the hospital. Although Jinlan finds Youngwon annoying, she starts really liking this relaxed feeling and can't help bantering with Youngwon. Jinlan finally lets go of all her obsessions, discovering not everything can be satisfied with money. She realizes happiness was by her side all along. Jinlan sincerely hopes Youngwon and Song Sungjun can live happily together, so she can't help asking Youngwon how things are going with Song Sungjun now. Although Song Sungjun refused Youngwon's request to reconcile, she says she won't give up and even wants to use sincerity to reform Song's mother. This scares Jinlan. She knows Song's mother's viciousness and worries Youngwon will fall into a trap and get hurt. Youngwon tells Jinlan not to worry, informing her she's already reached an agreement with Song's mother. It turns out that before this, Youngwon went to Song's mother's house to negotiate, giving Song's mother two choices: either give up her improper business and enjoy retirement, or Youngwon will go to the police station to sue her for all the bad things she did and face legal sanctions. Although Song's mother was unwilling to end it at the time, because Youngwon held the original contract and Song's mother's forged contract, this was enough to convict Song's mother. After thinking for a long time, Song's mother finally agreed to Youngwon's request to give up her improper business. Pure Youngwon thinks she saved Song's mother, but this is just Song's mother deliberately stalling for time. Song's mother has her subordinates teach Youngwon a lesson and sees the evidence Youngwon holds that could sue her, telling them not to worry about Youngwon's life or death, just get back the evidence. The conversation between the sisters in the hospital room is heard clearly by the lady. She can't forgive the vicious Song's mother who harmed her two precious daughters. Although Youngwon chooses to use love to reform Song's mother, the lady insists on having Song's mother face legal sanctions. So the mother asks Jinlan, hoping she can steal the original contract from Youngwon. She absolutely can't watch Youngwon fall into the trap and become Song's mother's daughter-in-law. Jinlon really hopes Youngwon and Song Seung-joon can be together, but the vicious Song's mother is still at large, making everyone unable to feel at ease. Jinlon also falls into dilemma, not knowing whether to follow the lady's plan or let Youngwon continue. Jinlon recovers and is discharged, ultimately choosing to return to her poor adoptive parents' side. When Jinlon calms down and looks at the relatives she lived with for 29 years, she discovers everyone has always loved her. Everyone is happy about Jinlon's return, and Jinlon and Youngwon are like twin sisters living in one room. Worried Youngwon will be used by Song's mother and get hurt, Jinlon decides to follow the lady's advice and takes the original contract from Youngwon. But as soon as Youngwon goes out, she's kidnapped by Song's mother's subordinates who've been waiting and taken straight to the mountains and thrown into a big pit, threatening Youngwon to hand over the contract. Just then, Jinlon feels a pang of anxiety and calls Youngwon. The subordinate picks up Youngwon's phone and throws it out. Unexpectedly, this throw accidentally answers the call. Youngwon hears Jinlon's anxious voice on the phone and immediately shouts for help. Knowing he's exposed, the subordinate flees down the mountain in panic. Fortunately, Jinlon, rushing over, encounters him and immediately catches the subordinate. Regardless of the pain from her wound, Jinlon anxiously runs to save Youngwon first. Seeing Youngwon safe and sound in the earthen pit, Jinlon finally completely relaxes. Learning that Song's mother hurt Youngwon again and almost cost Youngwon her life, Song Seung-joon can no longer continue tolerating Song's mother. He feels he's not protecting his mother but pushing her into an endless abyss. So he deliberately uses catching the criminal who assaulted Jinlon as an excuse to lure Song's mother to the police station. Without hesitation, he tells the police that Song's mother came to turn herself in for kidnapping Youngwon and even has all of Song's mother's subordinates arrested. This makes Song's mother furious, never expecting to ultimately fall into her son's hands. But Youngwon does something beyond everyone's expectations. She doesn't admit to being kidnapped, saying she and Song's mother were just playing a game. Youngwon doesn't want Song Seung-joon to suffer too much pain because of his mother. She also hasn't given up using sincerity to reform Song's mother. Song Seung-joon doesn't know what to do for a moment. Song's mother finally feels a trace of guilt at this time. Youngwon still tries to use love to reform Song's mother, but Song's mother, full of resentment, doesn't give Youngwon a good face and even scolds Youngwon for conspiring with her son to deliberately play with her. Later, to chase away Youngwon who won't leave her house, she calls Jinlon over, still firmly believing Jinlon is the best daughter-in-law. But Jinlon, who's already awakened, no longer has her former ambition. Instead, she starts thanking Song's mother. She made her completely wake up. Compared to being Song's mother's daughter-in-law, Jinlon wants even more to become a mother, to be a loving and responsible good mother, not like Song's mother, making her child lonely and painful, even losing happiness for life because of mother's mistakes. Jinlon's heartfelt sentiment is just nonsense to Song's mother at this moment. Being lectured to her face by a young girl, Song's mother's blood pressure rises in anger. Until nighttime, Song's mother is still furious. Her life motto is that as long as you have money, even alone you can do whatever you want. But Youngwon, who never gave up, finally makes Song's mother experience a feeling she's never had before. Youngwon, like treating her own mother, tightly and affectionately hugs Song's mother to sleep. Faced with Youngwon's action, Song's mother doesn't lose her temper but starts enjoying this warm embrace. However, the lady doesn't plan to easily let Song's mother go and reports her for fraud and forging official documents. Faced with this situation, Song's mother doesn't panic at all and immediately bribes a prosecutor she knows, having him safely get her out. Seeing Song's mother still unrepentant, Song Seung-joon finally understands Song's mother's fatal weakness. The next day, Song's mother sees on TV news that the place where she hid her assets has burned down. Song's mother, with hundreds of billions in wealth, becomes penniless overnight. Ultimately, she only faces righteous legal judgment. Time passes quickly. Jinlon and Youngwon, the two sisters working together, achieve great results at the publishing company. Although the chairman ultimately still leaves the publishing company to Youngwon, Jinlon doesn't get angry and jealous like before. After experiencing so much, she understands the true meaning of life. To make life shine, you can only rely on constantly working hard to enrich yourself. That's the genuine, enviable happiness. The two still haven't transferred their household registrations to their biological parents' households. They've also become inseparable good sisters. After serving a year in prison, Song's mother is released. Youngwon still maintains her original intention, staying by Song's mother's side, caring for her like a biological daughter, finally winning Song's mother's approval and agreeing to the marriage. At the wedding, Youngwon has two fathers walk her down the aisle. Song Seung-joon and Youngwon live happily together with everyone's blessings. Jinlon also meets her true soulmate at this time. Glasses guy doesn't care about Jinlon's external identity. This is what truly makes Jinlon's heart flutter. The poor adoptive mother eventually goes completely blind. Although she can no longer use her eyes to see this beautiful world, she has two good daughters by her side, using their hearts to feel the world's beauty. This concludes the recap of the Korean drama, Twinkle Twinkle. Thanks for watching. Jdrama. Please follow my YouTube and TikTok channels. See you in the next Korean drama.